Hello, everybody. I'd like to welcome you to Lean on Me Radio and Podcast. My name is Rita Marie, and today I have the pleasure of interviewing Roosterfeeds. He goes by Rooster DemoDaddy, and he does a newspaper called Roosterfeeds. So, Rooster, I want to welcome you today, and I'm going to ask you to please introduce yourself.
On social media, I'm known as Rooster DemoDaddy. And I have various different internet entities. I am the original owner of Clapper News and Reviews, soon to be known as Roosterfeeds. We are expanding to all social media outlets, and we're moving forward on that. And I also have another entity called Clapper Theater, where we perform plays live, like old time radio, inside radios on the Clapper application.
Awesome. So, Rooster, I know you got a few projects at hand, and most of it's on Clapper. You have a play going on. Do you want to explain a little bit about that and what the play is about, so we can maybe get some people interested to come on over and join us?
Cool. Yes, I would. The current play that we're working on is called Murder in a Show, and it's a murder mystery comedy. It's going to be a lot of fun. We are performing that on July 4th at 1 p.m. in the afternoon. We're doing it as a matinee. Did I say July 4th or July 9th? It's July 9th, sorry. And it's really going to be a good show. I don't want to go into too much detail about it because I don't want to give the plot away, but it's going to be exciting. We have some amazing creators involved in the play. And it's been a really cool experience doing the plays. The interaction between the different creators in the play has been phenomenal. We all learn and grow from each other. We came in as creators. We go out as a family, and that's awesome. That's the most wonderful thing about doing these kind of collaborations with many creators on the internet, is the fact that we do grow with one another, we learn from one another, and we get that bond that's forever. That family is born out of it. So very enjoyable.
Yes, it's really awesome. I love Clapper, and I love the family over there. So, Rooster, the paper. Okay. Now, I know you started this. How long ago did you start the paper?
We actually did we published our first issue on 9/11 of last year. So we're coming up on our 1-year anniversary.
Okay. All right. And what was it that impelled you to start the paper?
Clapper's a large app with many, many creators on it, and so many events and radios that it was really hard to keep track of them all. And there was no place listed with all of these radios and lives in them. And I just thought, it'd be a good thing that everybody could go to one place, stay in touch with what's going on the application, and be able to make some of these radios and grow these radios, get these radios the recognition that they deserved. And we started highlighting all kinds of other folks, creators in the newspaper, everything from Nell Kine to Ashmar Livings, resin work. So it's just been a lot of fun.
Right. I know that's where I got my first recognition from, and I've kind of moved away from that and moved on to podcasts. But I really loved, being spotlighted on the paper, and I think it's really amazing the way that you do things. Now, tell me a little bit about, what kind of spotlights other than the radios that you do, because I know that you have like a cooking section and all different kinds of sections. Can you kind of break it down for us a little bit and explain a little bit about it?
It's, the newspaper, we try to include and be inclusive for everyone and everything. The only thing that we don't do in the newspaper is politics. Politics bring in drama, and we just decided that that's not a direction that we wanted to go in. The reason why we actually created the paper is to promote others. And and promoting others. We promote their merch, we promote their radios, we promote what they have going on in their physical lives, what they do on social media. We try to link everything that they have going together in the articles that we produce so people can easily find their merch and find out more about them and attend their radios and their lives, and just promote and show love to everybody.
Right, right.
And we have everything from a prayer corner to general articles, editorials. We have a food section. We have games. Man, there's just the paper has grown to so many different aspects. We do have a brand new aspect that we're working on. We have discovered that most of the creators on the internet are artists of one form or another, whether their medium be canvas or oil painting or sculpturing or wood carving, or they sing, they dance, they play music, they're in a band. So we have started a new entity over on Discord for the arts and entertainment section of our newspaper. And this new field that we're going into provides a place for all of these artists to get together, share ideas, share stories, collaborate with one another, learn, grow, and just generally have a bulletin board where they can come in and drop messages if they're looking for a sound person, or if they're looking for a guitarist, if they're looking for an artist to do a drawing for them for some merch ideas that they have. We're trying to make a platform that you can easily find all of these different creators on so that we can collab and, grow ourselves. So it's a brand new thing that we're doing, and we're branching out on that every day right now.
Awesome, awesome, awesome. Okay, I am going to go ahead and open up the floor and let anybody who wants to ask Rooster a question go for it. One at a time, though, please. Anybody? Or on Facebook. I'm trying to watch both places at one time. Who has their hand raised? Yetlin. Go ahead, Yetlin. Should I? Yeah.
Hey, can you hear me?
Yeti. I'm sorry, Yeti. Yes, I can hear you.
You're all good. I was actually, the question I have for you, Rooster, is I remember your article in the paper. You have a pretty amazing background. You've done quite a bit. You've been around quite a bit. I noticed one thing was the surfing. When's the last time you've been surfing and had the ability to actually do that?
It's been about 16 years since I've been to Hawaii, and the last time I surfed, I was surfing North Shore on Maui. So it's been about 16 years since I've actually been on a board.
So any plans to do that in the near future?
Yes, I want to go back to Maui. I have a dream. I'm going to get off the surfing subject for just a second here, then I'll go back to it. The trip will be all about surfing, but what I'm really wanting to do is I'm wanting to fly an ultralight off the top of the volcano at Haleakala down to the beach at Lahaina. It's about a 5-mile journey through the air. On land, it's a little bit further, maybe 8 miles, 9 miles. So I would be actually taking off over a cove and then landing at the old Dole Cannery. So it's expensive. If I get caught, it's going to cost me quite a bit of money. And yes, I am going to jail. But it's been a dream of mine ever since I was a kid. The last time I went to do it, the winds were too rough and I was not able to get my kite off and out and set up. They stopped me before I got the kite set up. So we folded it up and left the top of the volcano that day. But that's just one of my dreams. I love everything about the saltwater. I love fishing it. I love deep sea travel. I love surfing. I'm an avid scuba diver and snorkeler. So I just really love the ocean. And so the water for me is like, I don't know, it's like getting refreshed or renewed every time I get wet. So I begin my day with a hot shower. I end my day with a hot shower every day. So I love water.
Awesome. I'm a water baby too. I love it myself. Rooster, let me ask you a little bit about your family life.
Okay.
I don't know how in depth you want to go, but I know you have a beautiful wife and I know you have a child. Can you tell us how all of that took place and how you ended up with this child?
My wife had a little sister that was somewhat of an addict, and the state was going to take her baby from her at birth. And the judge in the township where my wife grew up actually gave us a private phone call and said, hey, we don't want to do this. You've taken children from us before. Would you consider taking the child and raising her? And so it was a very nervous 24 hours. We had a lot to do. I was unable to travel with my wife and go and pick up the baby. The baby was born with a drug addiction, so she had to stay in Ronald McDonald House for a couple weeks whenever the baby was first born. We did get her when she was a newborn, and we are working towards closing the adoption with her now so that we don't have the threat of the mother coming back into her life and, you know, messing with her life. She's stable now. She may be on the autism spectrum. So we're really careful of who we expose her to and how we expose her. She's almost 3 now, and she was completely nonverbal until here recently. One day we walked in the bedroom and she was just started busting out into songs, singing everything that was on the TV, and had never spoken a word before that. And her little voice is so amazing. I would have to compare it to divas or song parrots. It's that beautiful. And maybe it's just my ears, and maybe I'm biased because she's ours. I just absolutely love her to death. We call her Poochie. Her actual name is Annette, and she's just a joy to be around. And I just never expected at 55 years old, I think I was 56 then, to, you know, ever be raising another child. My son's grown, married, and on his own, and you know, been through the military and everything else. So it's more about not raising a child, about giving a part of myself so somebody else could have something better than they would have got. I just could have never lived with myself knowing that she would have went to a foster family. I know sometimes those stories don't turn out well, and there's abuse and all kinds of other things. And so God told us, go get her. And we did. And we love her to death and wouldn't give her up for anything in the world.
Well, you know, Rooster, that it touches my heart. And I didn't know personally that it was another family member who the child came from. But you know that I raise grandchildren, my husband,
Right.
and I'm 64 years old. We got them when the youngest, Elizabeth, and most people on Facebook know who I am and know my family. So she was born with drugs in her system as well. We got her at 18 months old. They went through the system. They were in a foster home, you know, all of that. And then they went to another relative, and this other relative wasn't the best person in the world for them to be with. Anyway, long story short, we were asked if we would take them. And of course, we said yes. You know, these are my grandchildren. There was no way I was going to let them go back into the system. And so I commend you for that, because I know what it's like. I know how hard it is. You saw what went on before we actually started
Right.
this live.
Right.
I want to pull my hair out, you know, but I love them. I love them with every inch of my being. They're my life. I don't know what I'd do without them. Do I complain? Yes. Okay. I mean, come on. I'm human. We can only deal with so much, right?
Right.
But
you know, one of the things is I'm sorry, I was talking over you, my bad.
That's okay. Go ahead.
You know, one of the things is being self-employed. I live on faith, and I have a strong faith in God. And it's difficult for most to understand what faith is because they don't live by it on a daily basis. And living by faith, God whispers things in your ears, and he directs you.
Mhm.
And I've found that if I listen and I do the things that he asks of me, the blessings come. And I don't do them for the blessings. I do them because I know without God that I am nothing. And so God is a very important aspect in my life. I always keep him near to me. And faith. I mean, if you don't have faith in yourself, how is anybody else going to have faith in you? So I really, truly believe in faith in every aspect of it.
Exactly. And what I was going to say is not only do I have the pleasure of interviewing you today, but I'm actually going to get to meet you and your beautiful family this weekend. Rooster actually lives real close to me, you guys. So it's amazing. And Clapper is what brought us together, which is another social media app. We are a big family there, and we have a lot of fun. So, anybody have any questions for Rooster? I'm kind of not knowing what to ask at this point. Just raise your hand or open your mic and ask away. Ashmar, Jesse, anybody? Storm?
I got another one. Rooster, so you said you have a demolition company. From my understanding, you started multiple different companies. And I know you have the production, you have the newspaper and stuff. So what other companies have you opened throughout your career?
But mainly just the demolition company. When we were kids, my brothers and I had a small maintenance handy dandy. It was actually my last name, Professional Handy Dandy Cleaning company, and we cleaned offices and we cleaned bars and we cleared vacant lots and we took out trash from businesses and just several different things. As children, our parents taught us the value of $1, and how they did that is they took care of everything that we needed, but the things that we wanted were up to us to pay for. And so learning to work at a very young age was something that my brothers and I have always done. Our parents instilled it in us, and it's proven to be extremely valuable because it gives you that longevity to actually open a business, run a business, and make a profit. And that can be quite hard sometimes, especially during COVID and all this, where business has not been back where it was since prior to COVID. So the demolition business is something that I got into intentionally. My grandfather was in the junkyard business, demoing cars. My father was a demolition engineer. I have two other brothers that engage in the same field. One here in my state, in my city, and another one in Los Angeles. So it's part of who we are. Our family's always been in demo, and we demo whole structures. We demo sheds, fences, decks, kitchens, bathrooms, both interiors, exteriors, commercial office buildings. We go in and gut them. So, it's an ever expanding field. So that's the main business that I've been in for most of my life. Not the only job that I had. I worked for the TVA, for the government, for a few years at chemical plants and steam plants, and worked through the union hall while I was there, Allied Painters and Trades out of Nashville, Tennessee. So I kind of traveled with that for a few years. I did that for 11 years of my life, both in Los Angeles, Omaha, Nebraska, Tennessee, and two other locations. So prior to meeting my wife, my demolition business took me everywhere. I've been to Aruba doing demolition. I've been to Costa Rica. I've actually done demolition in the Bahamas, and so that's been a really cool and fun part of my business. I don't travel like that anymore. My wife likes me home at the end of the day. And I used to just live in hotels all the time and go wherever they sent me next.
Awesome. Awesome. Um, so I have kind of a question for you, I guess. It's about your daughter. Um, I know that she is a climber. Can you tell
Oh,
me
yeah.
some of the things that you've encountered with her recently, some of the stories?
Oh, my goodness. Yeah, she's constantly on top of everything all the time. So last week we're in the bedroom and we're talking and she's like in her bed. So she's climbing in and out of her crib now. So she comes and goes as she pleases. And so we're like, it's like 2 o'clock in the morning and we hear all this things hitting the floor in the kitchen and we're all, what are these dogs doing? So we get up and she's has the trash can pulled over in front of the microwave. She's on the counter, taking everything in the cabinets and throwing it out, trying to get to the bag of cookies in the back of the cabinet. So 2 o'clock in the morning, she's up eating cookies on the counter and we just died laughing. So it's just, she's a mess. Our house is a mess right now. She's at that age where I have a lot of, like I say, it's been a number of years since I've had children in my home. So I've had a lot of things displayed in the house that I've had to put out of her reach and move. And where my wife saw, when do we get our house back? When do we get our house back? I said, in a few years, honey, in a few years. But yeah, she climbs on everything.
In a few years, I still don't have my house back, and mine are 14 and
Oh
12.
my God. Oh my God. Don't tell me that.
um, how do I say this? It gets better, but it also gets worse because they get to the point, and if she's anything like mine, and I think she is because of the stories you told me, this right here, really bad as they get older. The back talk, just, and then mine have chores, of course, because they're old enough to have chores. And then it's a battle to try to get them to do their chores. You know, when they were young, I didn't really have a problem with them picking up their toys, but now it's like chores. We got to do chores. So, yeah, I hate to burst your bubble, but it does. It gets a little bit worse, but it gets a little bit better. I mean, and then when she gets into puberty, it's a little girl. Oh my God. You got one woman, two. Oh my God. Anyway, anybody else have any questions for Rooster at this point?
When we create a new project.
Can I ask one more, Rita?
Yeah, go ahead. As many as you want.
Sorry, I'm like constantly asking so many, but Rooster's a super interesting person, an amazing person. Rooster, what was the greatest piece of advice you've ever been given in your life?
Oh, I may have to think about this for a minute. I'm gonna have to throw this to something that Chocolate Mind said to me a year or so ago. He had mentioned, and I really don't want to talk about him, but I'm going to. He had mentioned that the app had no love for him, that he said he was never going to grow on there, and that he was never going to get his cartoons off the ground and bring back the Saturday morning cartoons. And in doing so, it brought on a whole conversation, which in fact was one of the reasons why Clapper News and Reviews was born. And he told me back during that time that one of the greatest things that we can do on this earth is to help one another achieve their goals and their dreams. And he had actually thanked me for pushing him to fulfill his dreams and pushing him in the direction towards getting his Saturday morning cartoons out. And we started featuring his cartoons in the newspaper about a year ago now. And he is getting ready to, he has been working with animators for quite some time, and they're getting ready to actually produce a pilot program that they're going to be submitting to different networks for publication. So if y'all can, pray for Chocolate Minds. Let's get him off the ground completely. And I've always had that ability to see into people's hearts. And prior to coming to Clapper, I heard what people said, but I never really listened. And when I came onto Clapper, because it was radio and I was able to just sit there with my microphones on and close my eyes and really listen to what the room was saying and the heartbeat of the radio, I began to actually hear what people were saying to me, not just the words that they were pushing out into the room. And it taught me something, that the value of what's in someone's heart sometimes can only be achieved by others pushing them. And so I push, and I tell people all the time, be careful letting me see into your heart, because I'm going to promote you and I'm not going to let it go, because that's who I am. That's my nature. So yeah, I would have to say what Chocolate told me about sometimes we have to get involved with other people's lives to make our own dreams a reality. I think that's probably the most provocative thing that has ever been said to me.
That's amazing. And I totally agree with that. Sorry, Rita.
No, you're fine, Yeti. Yeah, because the thing about it is that you have to build relationships in anything. It's not, I've always heard, I'm going to mention Sandy Krakowski here because she's a mentor of mine and I've been following her for a long time. And Sandy always says that people don't buy products. They're buying because they know, like, and trust you. So got to build the relationship in order to have the rest of it. You've got to, people, this is a new day and age. Things are different. It's not like someone going out there door-to-door sales or something. It's totally different. You have to build the relationship. People have to trust you. They have to like you. They're not going to follow you or anything else if they don't like you and trust you, So it's important, I think.
And even with door-to-door sales, they're never buying the product. The product's what you leave them with. They're buying you. 100% you. You have to sell yourself. And if you can get them on that positive side of you, they're buying. The check's already written. Just tell them who to make it out to.
Right. So let's go back a little bit to Clapper again and talk about these radios, okay? Because not only do you promote the radios in the paper, but you're a part of several of them. So let's talk about some of the radios that you're involved with. Let's give them a little boost here.
The first radio that I became involved with was an idea that I had out of anger. I was upset at a few of the creators on the app. I didn't like how they were treating other creators on the app. I got really hardcore into my feelings about it. I actually made a video about it. It's still in my content. And the thing is that I felt like that the whole thing was unfair. Two of my good friends were sanctioned by the app and actually, kicked off for a little while and were allowed to come back eventually. But I got my feelings about that because neither side was right. They were both wrong. But the app itself decided to punish two and leave the other one on the app whenever the first one was the main instigator of that. And I didn't agree with it. It pissed me off, to be honest with you. And I got in my feelings hardcore over it. And so I tried to, for a while there, spread unity and positivity on the app. And it wasn't working. People weren't receiving it. So I had an idea that to spread unity, to just go into a radio and talk about it wasn't enough. So we had an idea that we would build a unity radio, and Jenny G came up with the idea of spotlighting creators, and it kind of just grew from there. And it turned into Kevin Blaine pushed that out to the UK, to Canada, and it became really big for a while. At the same time, Mom's Life Radio was born, Spiritually Balanced Radio, Your Radio, Rita. We had the Brothers Corner, which has been running 60, I think tomorrow it will be 62 weeks or 63 weeks that that's been running on the app. And I have a funny story about the Brothers Corner. When Chocolate was gathering the people to build the panel for that, Ray Leno and actually Vince and Big Brother were all pretty new to the app. They'd only been around for about 35 days, but they came into Radio Family. They had big voices. I really liked these guys. And so Chocolate and I were discussing the different people that he wanted on the panel for what they brought and what they did in their natural lives. And so I was in line to be on that panel, and I had gotten to know Sandman really well, and he and Lodi and I are really, really tight. We're good friends. That's my brother. And I heard him speak so many times in his lives so positively that I went to Chocolate and I said, hey, man, I said, I'm going to step away because I want this guy in your radio. This is the guy that we need in there. And so Chocolate knew Sandman, and he says, man, he says, brother, he says, I agree with you. He says, I want to put him in there. And at the same time, Timbo was looking for a place to be that was safe for him on the app. And he had shared a story with Chocolate that really touched Chocolate's heart. So Chocolate pulled him into the radio, and then he invited Sandman over. So when Sandman joined, I backed off. And then the second week after that, they started inviting me into the private powwows and letting me know what was going on in those radios and what we were going to be talking about. And they made me an honorary panelist in that radio. And I really enjoy that radio. It's one of the oldest running. It is the oldest running scheduled radio on Clapper app, and it's just a lot of fun. And I started promoting all these radios by video, and that's where I first started before I had the newspaper. I was making videos for Your Radio, for for Brothers Corner, and for all the different radios. I was pumping out videos for them, making no content for myself at all. And I had never actually produced any type of content prior to the radios. And it kind of, like I said earlier, it kind of bothered me that there wasn't a set scheduled place where we could promote these radios. And out of that, the newspaper was born. And I'm not going to lie here. I'm going to tell the truth. I initially started the newspaper to promote Chocolate Minds and his idea of the Saturday morning commercials. And a lot of people don't know that. And I had actually stated that in one of your radios, I believe, and Kevin Blaine had approached me afterwards and said, hey, that's not received well by all. Maybe you shouldn't say that. Maybe you should say that you started the newspaper to promote everyone on the app and to spread positivity and love. And I considered what he said to me, and I said, you know what, I think you're right. And so I changed my formula. And it's not that I'm hiding that from anybody. It just wasn't as received well because, for various different reasons that we won't go into. But yeah, the radios have been a big part of who I am and what I do on the application. My content is other people's hearts. So again, be careful if you let me see in your heart. I'm going to promote.
Right. And that's a lot of what Lean On Me radio is about. And I don't even know why I came up with Lean On Me. It just hit me one day and I said, okay. And then I thought the song, so that's part of it. And by the way, I want to promote Standing Like Statues right now. They are on Instagram. They are on Facebook. They are on Clapper, and they have released their first album. Am I not correct about that? Standing Like Statues.
Not only that, she wrote your theme song, if yes, I'm correct.
Say, my theme song is Lean On Me, okay? And she wrote that theme song. She sang it. Her name is Effie. It's Standing Like Statues is her band. And like I said, they're all over social media and on YouTube. So look them up. That theme song will be added to this podcast right here, right now, on YouTube and on my other podcasts, which is on Anchor, Amazon, now Google, Anchor, Amazon, Google. I can't think. I'm on five different podcasts now, y'all. So, and this is about supporting other people. This is not about me. Okay.
Right.
And it doesn't matter the topic, whatever y'all want to talk about. I don't even rehearse these. Okay. This is all.
There is one radio that I've intentionally left out because I wanted to talk about them separately. But since you brought up Effie and Standing Like Statues, I'm going to do that at this time. Pride Radio. Pride Radio. I was originally not part of that radio. I approached them and asked them about being in that radio, mainly because I was jealous. The girls were in Pride Radio, and I wasn't getting to see Dawn, and I didn't know Jessie that well. And I other than in your radio, I got to see her in there, and I wanted my time back with the girls, and so I asked to join for selfish reasons, and it's been a really truly growing experience for me in there. Our topic-based radios, we get really deep. You were in the one on Wednesday night. We're going to continue that radio again next week. Everything that we do in there is not always related to the LGBTQ plus community. We talk about real shit in there. It gets real in there, and I'm grateful to have the time with the girls and be able to chat with them on a daily basis. And like I say, before I came here today, I was really, really nervous, and I lost that nervousness because of the encouragement and the love and the support that the girls showed me today. And I'm just grateful for them and grateful to be a part of that radio. And I think that's one of the most important things to me in my life right now is Pride Radio. I'm learning in there, and the things that I'm learning are not necessarily about pride or about the topics that we discussed. It's about relationships, how to treat somebody else, how we want to be treated. These girls are amazing, and Chef Eb is amazing. They're all wonderful people, and they're like educators and teachers for me, and I'm grateful for that. I am not an emotional person. I've kind of always pushed my emotions down in my life. They're bringing that back out of me. They're teaching me to love. They're teaching me to be more of who I am, and I'm just really ecstatic about being a part of that radio. It's a fantastic radio. They did get Radio of the Year last year for the Savage Awards. As a matter of fact, Effie and Jessie were the only two people on Clapper that received 2 awards from the Savage Awards this year, and I couldn't be prouder of either one of them. And to have a radio that I'm involved with now receive an award like Best Radio, that means that they're doing something right. They're touching life, and that's important. That is very important.
I want to mention one other radio, and it is a radio I have been involved with forever, and I hope that eventually it is in the paper as well. Even though it's an ongoing radio and it's sporadic, they're always there. And they have started what's called #The Union, and it's Radio Fam. They are amazing. They're uplifting, they're supportive. Ashmar is part of that. Yeti is part of that. Dawn is part of that. So many. Nay. I'm not going to say anything more because she's not here. But she is loved and adored by everyone. And these people are very supportive and uplifting. And we help each other. We're a family. We are a family. So I just kind of wanted to put that out there. And we've only really got a few minutes left, Rooster, before we have to book on over to Clapper for a radio. So right. A closing thought. Give us a closing thought.
My closing thought today is that I dropped a comment on one of the union train videos today, Papa and Nay. And my thought that I dropped in there today was a new name for the union. I actually gave the union a name, and I don't know if anybody's picked up on it or not yet, but I'm hoping it sticks. I turned the phrase that I was proud to be a member of the Creators Union, and the Creators Union, that says it all. Positivity, love, and what we do for one another on the app is nothing short of amazing. And I appreciate every single member. Actually, there's some members that I saw in whenever Nay listed them all today that I don't know that well. So I have some homework to do, and that's some leads for some new hearts and for some new ideas for me to go and visit and get to know these people. And for me, that's everything. I just love people, and I love seeing what's in their hearts. Not just being able to see into their hearts, but help them achieve those goals and dreams that they have in their hearts. It's my nature. It's who I am. I can't run from it, and I won't try.
Awesome. One more thing, Rooster. Do you have merch? And if you do, how do we find it?
You can find my merch through Mom Sess's page, soon to be on my pages. I'm getting ready to launch a new line of merch. The play is coming out with Clapper Theater is starting their line of merch thanks to the Underdog Spotlight. Mandy and Robert and Song Parrot, they're fantastic people. They've decided to support this particular production that we're in right now with Clapper Theater. We're doing it by way of merch and t-shirts, which are coming out. And I'm just grateful for everybody involved. And so the best way to find the merch right now is through Mom Sess's page or through the newspaper. And soon all of it will be on my page as well. I have this wonderful friend named Rita Marie who's fixing to help me with my beacons.
I am. Ashmar, did you have a question? I saw you open your mic.
Yes. Hi, everybody. Good afternoon. I basically I don't have a question. I just want to say a few words to Rooster. And I want to thank you, my friend, family. You are my family. And I want to thank you for all the amazing things and the support that you have done, not only for me as a creator, but for so many people in the community. And what makes you so special and so amazing, Rooster, it's the way you have with people. You're very caring, loving, you understand, you take the time to listen to people, and that is priceless, my friend. So the fact that you're so genuine and true to who you are, that makes you absolutely amazing. And I thank you on behalf of Clapper, on behalf of me, on behalf of all the community, for all that you've done for every one of us.
Thank you, Ashma. I love you, sis.
Yes, absolutely. Rooster, it was a pleasure having you here today. I really appreciate you. I was nervous as heck, and I know you were too, but I just don't have enough words to thank you. You are amazing, and you are helpful to everyone. You created the video advertisement for this radio and podcast, and I just, I totally appreciate you. So thank you again for being here today.
Go Union.
Go Union. All right, everybody. I want to thank you.
It's break time, y'all.
It's break time. Time to go. Bye, everyone.
Thank you very much for having me on. I enjoyed it.
You're welcome. Thank you for being on. I appreciate you.
We'll see you.